Yo, bro, did you see that UB game?
Bro, listen, I saw it. It was trending on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah. No, I was just like
UB when they beat Arizona.
while they were playing. Is that the game they won?
Yeah, where they won by like 20 points.
Yeah. Okay. I was on Twitter and I see Buffalo's trending. I'm like, uh-oh. Right? Listen, whenever a city is trending,
it's bad, right?
Especially in America, bro, it's either a shooting.
Not funny.
I'm just saying. Like,
no, I was laughing.
Yeah. No. It's the same way with, like, if you see a famous person trending, they either got accused of sexual assault or they died.
Yeah.
Right? So I see Buffalo, I'm like, uh-oh. So I open it, and it's all about the Buffalo college team and how they're, like, beating this team and how they're fucking up everyone's bracket.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
one of many teams fucking up brackets.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, shit, I got to open this and see what's going on. I turn on the TV, and I see that Buffalo's winning. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, listen, I don't watch college basketball. But I knew enough. Yeah, when I saw it was like Buffalo in March Madness. I'm like, that's not right. But you know what? Thanks to that game, I won a bet against my girlfriend.
What was it, bro?
Bro, I never win bets against my girlfriend. I'll tell you why. Because I bet with my heart, and she bets with her brain. Right? Like last year, we bet in the NBA Finals. You guys might not know, but I'm a LeBron fan. I hate the Cavs, but I'm a LeBron fan. I love LeBron, right? That's my dude. So I never bet against them. So last year's finals, I said, LeBron is going to come back and win. She said, nah, the Warriors are going to win. Just because she knows that they were the favorites. I had to buy her a pair of shoes.
Not easy thing to...
I had to buy her a pair of shoes. So this year, when we were talking about, when I came over and we were talking about how Buffalo had won and how unlikely.
Can we just build up this suspense? Arizona in many brackets was going to go to the Final Four, if not the finals, or the championship game, right? They lost in the round of 64 against UB.
What were they 16th?
No, the UB was 13th, and Arizona is number 4. But many people say Arizona was underseeded because of the whole coaching thing with like the illegal.
So they should have been seeded higher and everything?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I don't watch.
And they lost by 20.
That was the Buffalo game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, now with that information, I came to Buffalo, and me and my girlfriend were talking about that just because she's from Buffalo. Again, neither of us followed college basketball, but she just knew Buffalo, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, but they got a really hard team coming up, right? They got Kentucky. They're not going to win that. She goes, you want to bet? Oh, my eyes lit up, bro. You have no idea.
Easy bet.
I knew I was going to win this one.
Yeah.
I wasn't betting with my heart this time. I was like, that's it. I'm like, are you sure?
She was betting with her heart.
Listen, I tried to warn her, too. You know me, being a nice man and a loving boyfriend. I'm like, listen, you don't want to do this. You know? She goes, why? You scared? I'm like, they're going to get blown. They're going to get ass raped. You know? Anal, ass, and orally raped. It's not going to be pretty. She goes, well, then take the bet. I'm like, okay. That was the day off, mind you. We took a nap, and then when I woke up later, I woke her up. I'm like, look. We bet at Margarita Tower.
And they lost by what, like 20?
20.
Yeah.
I told her, bro.
By the way, just to give some love to the Bulls, they had a great season. I believe they finished 27-9 or 28-9, something like that, which is great for college basketball. It's UB. Yeah. Okay, so today, for the third time, we're going to do a Rhinos and Aliens After Dark show. I like that. I like that. Yeah.
I like that.
If you guys don't know, this is the show where for in-topic stats, news updates, blah, 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 we do the After Dark show. It's going to post tonight. So we're recording Monday. Hopefully it posts tonight if everything goes according to plan. But like always, you have your co-host, Francis Mandrala. Some people like to call me something else. And to my right, we have
Sebastian Zuluaga, a.k.a. Mr. I Am Never Here, but here I am today.
Okay, so there it is, Francis and Sebastian. This might be leading to another show for future things, but... Shh. Okay, so, bro, where do you want to start today?
Right.
Yeah. Just so you guys don't know, we did say NBA, but we just
so you guys don't know.
We wanted to point out the UConn women basketball team.
Oh, that's what we were talking about. Right, that's right. I have it written down here.
Bro, What is going on?
Yo, they scored 140 points in a game and held the other team to, what was it, 52?
53.
53? This is the same team that scored 100. They scored 55 points in the first quarter, meaning they could have gone scoreless for the rest of the entire game. The last 3 quarters, or 2 halves?
No, 3 quarters.
3 quarters?
Yeah.
Women's college basketball?
They switched it.
Oh.
But it's still only 40 minutes.
Okay. They could have gone scoreless for the last 3 quarters and still won the game.
Before we move on, though, I just want to give you some stats, bro, of all the records they broke. The previous record for most points in a quarter was 45. They scored 55, broke that by 10. The previous record for a halftime was 80. They had 94. And then the previous record for points in a total game was 121. They had 140.
So it was a record-setting game all around.
Exactly. And this is nothing new. Just the point, they won by 88 points. That's not a UConn record for largest point differential.
It's now or it's not?
It's not. Their largest is 90-something. Yeah.
Wow.
So UConn women's, they're just a dynasty of all dynasties.
Wow. So what do you think? Are they that good or is the competition that bad?
Bro, he has 11 championships. The coach.
With the same team?
With the same team. And ever since Tennessee, which was the previous dynasty, lost their coach, Pat Summitt, they basically won 3 out of every 4 years.
So now, if you take UConn out of that conversation,
there's Stanford, there's Notre Dame, and there's Baylor. It's not like they don't have competition. It's just...
But are they to that level?
People say he is such a good coach, he could go to men's college basketball and more or less do the same thing. So it's hard to say. It's what ifs. I would have to put it, he's just so much better than everybody else somehow.
And that's impressive.
And just, I want to put this out there. It's not like... It's like his teams are always diverse, bro. They all in terms of skill and race or an ethnicity. So it's not like you could say he's recruiting the best players because sometimes he's just coaching better. Because when you look at some of these women, they should not be as good as they are.
I guess like with any coaching, right? It's got to be a combination of both, right?
Yeah.
You gotta be a good coach and you gotta have the right players because you could be as good of a coach as you want. If you don't have the talent, you're not gonna execute.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
But we just have to show some love to the women's out there, and if UConn doesn't win,
women's,
the females, women. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna correct me. I got you next time, bro. Next time you say just remember that.
What?
Okay, we got that out the way. Now we're going to quickly talk about Curry, right?
Yep.
We just wanted to say shout out to his 30th birthday. He's injured. Like, it seems he's been the entire season.
You think they're just doing that so he can kind of miss games?
But, bro, everybody's injured now.
I saw, you know what?
Do you see that Klay Thompson thing?
I saw an interesting comment on Instagram about that it was like maybe this is just their way of kind of resting players to keep them.
But you can't falsify.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah. You can't falsify some things. You might be able to get away with like sore body limbs or some shit, but not fractures and.
Durant has 2 broken ribs.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh shit! How?
So it was one game he got kneed in the stomach area. 2 ribs are broken. Klay is out for now a week and a half at least. Curry's out for at least another week.
They're still good.
But, bro...
They're still like 11 games ahead of...
everybody else besides the Rockets.
Yeah, pretty much. So...
Oh, just one reason why we're shouting him out, he turned 30 and he has over 2,100 three-pointers or 500 more than the second player at that point in time. Which is impressive.
For like how long he's been in the NBA kind of thing?
Yeah. No, age 30. And that's impressive because he stayed all 4 years at Davidson.
Wow.
And he's missed as much time as he has.
He played 4 years in college?
At least 3.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's not like, you know how people use like the age thing with LeBron James, but he came straight out of high school?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you can't go against his stats are crazy. And he's missed a season and a half because of his ankle.
Wow. Shout out to Curry.
Best shooter ever, bro?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so now we're going to get into the West. Last season was very mediocre for the West. There was like 3 teams and everybody else was a little basic.
I think if anything, last year was a little bit more.
You thought last year was more even?
Oh, no. I mean, like, it was less competition last year.
No, that's what I'm saying. There was
okay,
3
okay.
teams and nobody else. This year, what's the difference between the 3rd seed and the 11th seed?
The 3rd seed is 25-11, and the 8th seed is 26-9. A game and a half? 2 games?
At home, bro?
No. Oh.
Yeah,
I'm looking
read
at
the correct
wrong record.
stats.
Yeah. 44-26 are the 3rd place Blazers, and 40-30 are the Wolves. 4 games.
Yeah, for 3rd and 8th, I was saying.
Yep.
But go down to 10th, it's not that big of a difference. Yeah, you didn't keep the 10th.
No, I just went up to 8th.
Yeah, but the Clippers are 37-32. That's what, a 6-game difference?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
The Nuggets are what, 38-32? Yeah. The Clippers and the Nuggets are fighting for 8th at this point.
yeah. And the Timberwolves. And technically the Spurs, bro. If they lose a game or 2.
Bro, I think, what is it? I had this shit written down somewhere. The Spurs might fall out of a playoff spot.
For the first time in, what was the stat, like 18 years?
Something like that?
Yeah.
Bro.
Which is ridiculous. And they might not win 50 games for the first time in...
What are they at right now? They're at...
No, this is going to be the first time in 20 years, and they might not win 50 games for the first time in 18.
What are the Spurs sitting at record-wise?
The Spurs are 40-30.
40-30 what? Tied for what?
They're 7th place.
7th place, 40-30. Okay, so they have the same record as the 5th place Jazz and the 8th place Timberwolves.
Yeah.
And they have, in this order, they play the Warriors, the Wizards, the Jazz, the Bucks, the Wizards again, Oklahoma, the Rockets, and then after that you play some
Lower competition.
lower competition, with the exclusion of the Blazers again near the end.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's their remaining schedule. I don't see them beating a lot of these teams.
Yeah. But also, it depends how everybody else does, too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're in a position where they might not be in control of their own future.
And they also could be.
Yeah.
If they do win most of those games, which they could.
But I think, because if you look at, like, Warriors, like, I'll name out the best ones in that.
But the Warriors are injured.
But it's the Warriors.
I don't know, bro. The Warriors...
That's their next game, if I'm not mistaken. So they might get away with that one.
Okay.
But they still play the Wizards, the Jazz, who are red hot right now.
Do you think they're going to keep it up by that time?
That's the 3rd game in the list. So I think they might not win up to that point, but I think that's
going to be a playoff
that level
game.
of play will still be there, right?
Yeah,
like they'll still be good. The Bucks, I don't think they're as good as a lot of people think they are.
Do you know if that's on the road or not?
You know what? I was gonna write that down, and I thought it might not be that big of a factor, but it might be.
It would for the Bucks.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with the Greek Freak, he only needs one explosive game, and that's all they need.
Yeah. But I mean, if you look at this, it's
a tough schedule.
Wizards, OKC, and Rockets are all back to back.
Oh, Rockets.
Yeah. And then after that, you get to the lighter schedule, and then Timberwolves again.
Yeah.
I mean, the Trailblazers again.
Yeah.
But and when you consider how close, like 5th through 8th is
5th through 10th, if we're getting down to it.
But if we're just talking about identical records, 5th through 8 are all have the same record.
For the most part.
Well, right now,
Timberwolves are 31 losses.
Oh, that's not updated then?
Yeah, no.
I have them 40-30. Okay. Still.
No, we know what you're saying. Half a game.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's crazy to think. Like, at the beginning of the year, every year I start off saying...
It's going to be...
That you could never count out the Spurs. As long as Kawhi is on the team and Popovich is the coach, you can never count out the Spurs to make noise in the West. This year, you can't even guarantee that they're a playoff team.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yo, it really makes you think. What would have happened to the Spurs if Kawhi did not get injured? I'm talking about last season in the playoffs. Would they have won that series? They were blowing them.
They were blowing them. But then, mind you, that was one game though, right?
I
That
know,
was game one
but
of the
it
series,
was
right?
it was in Oracle Arena, so they would have gotten that road game.
Was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they won 67 games last year. The Warriors did.
Yeah.
That.
What could have been? What might have been?
Yeah, what might have been.
Yeah.
Either way, they would have. Yeah, what ifs, but
Yeah. It might have been a closer series. I still think the Warriors might have pulled away at the end, but it would have been interesting.
where are the Jazz? Did you say
The Jazz are fifth
place?
40-30.
They're on a 9-game winning streak.
Yep.
If they win one more game, this will be the second time this year they've gone on a 10-plus winning streak. Can we show some love to the rookie Donovan Mitchell, bro?
Bro, listen. That's my pick for Rookie of the Year.
I 100%.
What he's doing is unbelievable, considering he has less help than Ben Simmons. I know a lot of people. Ben Simmons
it's in
might
the
be
West.
Ben Simmons might be a better
overall.
well-rounded player. But I like Donovan Mitchell to me has that like Mamba mentality. He has that killer instinct. He's not afraid of the big moment. He can shoot. He can score, right? Whereas Ben Simmons might be able to do all these
score.
things. He's not a good
He can't.
unless he's like right under the rim. He cannot.
He hasn't made one 3-pointer this entire year.
Oh yeah, I saw that. How many attempts?
0 for 3 or 4.
Wait, for 3 or 4?
He's attempted less than 5.
Oh, that's not as bad.
No, but there's a reason why he's not shooting them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you can't even hit like mid ranges, why even try? Don't even try to shoot.
Bro, his shot is worse than LeBron coming out of high school. And LeBron didn't have the best shot.
That's why it's like it's hard to put like a cap on his shooting, right? Like to say like, oh, he's not a good shooter, so
He
we're
could
just
grow
gonna
into
limit-
it, though.
Yeah, because
Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
Before we move on, though, I just want to say the thing I love about Donovan Mitchell, nobody really was talking about him stat-wise and overall-wise through the first half of the season because the Jazz sucked. Mm-hmm. But it feels like once he got it going, the Jazz got it going. And that's what I like.
Yeah.
It's like, in a sense, don't get it wrong, it's a team game, but he's almost the reason why they are on the hot streak they are.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, I think Donovan Mitchell has a lot less help than Ben Simmons. Not also when you consider he's playing in the West, which is obviously a tougher conference.
Yeah.
The only good player he has that you can really say would make a difference is their center,
Gobert.
And then if you look at Ben Simmons,
Embiid.
he's got Embiid,
Redick.
he's got Redick, he's got that other what's his name? He's a really good 3-point shooter.
And I know who you're talking about, bro.
Covington.
Yes.
Is it Covington? Yes.
Yeah.
They've got some talent, and they're in the East.
Which you have to put that asterisk.
You have to mention
that.
You can't not say, oh, but it's the East because it matters, right?
And I also want to point this out. We know that he has the second most triple doubles ever for a rookie.
Yeah.
But let's not forget Mitchell has 2 40-point games, which is tied for a record for a rookie. And he now has 23 games with 25-plus points, which is only behind Carmelo, Blake Griffin, and LeBron James.
That's insane.
And the only difference between those three is 7 games. I think he's going to get at least 3 more.
I'd say so.
Yeah, so he's going to move up to third, if not second. And if he balls out, he might actually get first place. And what's more impressive? The 5th or 4th seed in the East or the 5th or 4th seed in the West?
Being the only difference maker.
Yeah.
Because if you keep Rudy Gobert and add a different scorer, they might not be 5th seed or as good as they are. Whereas if you keep Donovan Mitchell and put any other formidable center, you're not going to put an elite center to replace, but someone even
You mean if you keep Gobert and switch out Mitchell, right?
Yeah, they wouldn't be as good as they were. But if you keep Mitchell and switch out Gobert for a less talented center, I still think
they would be closer.
Yeah.
And let's be real, bro. Pure talent, not counting health. Is Ben Simmons even the best player on his team?
I don't think so.
Embiid, bro, when he plays, is a game changer.
I have such a love-hate relationship with Joel Embiid. Bro, listen, he is such a troll. I love it.
Okay.
He is like an entertainer at this point. Like, I forget that he's a basketball player.
Bro, that Rihanna got me. That Rihanna
Yo,
stuff.
that shit was hilarious. I think... Okay, first, I just want to point out that I can't deny his talent.
Why do you hate him?
Because I'm a Heat fan, and him and Whiteside,
He gets at Whiteside.
they
bro.
got beef.
But most of the time, he wins the victories.
Except last time.
Yeah. Which I'm glad. I'm not a fan of him, so I respect him,
Or
though.
Embiid or Whiteside?
Embiid.
Embiid, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. I used to be a fan, and I used to respect him. Now I respect him. You can't not respect the stats, and I love his trolling, but you know, if it comes down to like that beef shit, I gotta go with Whiteside.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So that's my thing, but what he does and what he brings to the game is amazing. I think it's not gonna be long before every center has to be hitting threes. You're gonna have to be able to hit some threes once in a while.
Bro, you want to hear some crazy stats? Brooke Lopez has over 100 made three-pointers this year.
On how many attempts? What's
I
he
don't know.
shooting at?
I don't know. I just because during the Lakers' winning streak before these past two losses, bro, he was hitting two or three three-pointers in a game.
Is he on the Lakers now, Brooke Lopez?
Yeah. The guy from the Nets.
Oh, okay. I was thinking, I'm like, isn't he on the Nets right now?
No, they got traded.
Who's on the Nets then?
I don't. They're the Lakers traded Russell. You remember that?
D'Angelo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, but that's the
trade.
point. Has come.
I get why that trade happened.
Yeah.
I think in retrospect, you got to keep D'Angelo.
He's been injured this year.
It's okay. I think he's a better player.
Different show, bro. Different show. Okay. Do you want to talk about the Thunder? Because we have to bring up Westbrook, bro.
Yeah.
You said they're pretenders, right?
I have them on my list of pretenders.
Okay. We're going to get into that specifically a little bit later.
All right.
But Westbrook, bro, how do you feel about him?
Listen, it's the same thing with Embiid, okay? I respect the numbers. There's no denying the talent. The talent is there. The numbers are there to back it up. I think he's a bit of a stat stuffer. And I don't want that statement to take away from what I said before, that I respect the game, the talent. I think, listen, if you look at like who he's played with throughout his career, he's always had superstars, and he can't make. I'm starting to think that he might be the problem, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
It took you.
I can't tell. Is that sarcasm?
You seriously couldn't tell?
So are you agreeing that he might be the problem?
I was being sarcastic, like I knew this 3 years ago.
Okay.
When I said this is why Durant left.
Okay, yeah. Then, no, because I talk to a lot of people that call me crazy when I say that he might be the problem, and they say why, and I'm like, well, look at it. He's played with how many superstars and can't win? He's had great coaching and couldn't win. You replaced the coach, you replaced the players. You had a year where you were by yourself and you couldn't win. You brought two new superstars, one in his prime, one going out of his prime, and you're only like 2 games better than you were by yourself last year.
Well, to make a big difference between this trio, the Warriors trio, and the trios with LeBron James, he is very similar to the two other players. So let's not make it seem like they improved that much.
Oh, like he's like
George is a scorer.
He's not complimenting his style of play.
No, not at all. You for me, what would have been smart is you go the Philly route and you get shooters around him.
Yeah.
Get
I keep telling that. I keep
shooters.
telling people that with his style of play, that Westbrook is not a guy that you should want shooting in the last 2 minutes of a close game.
Yeah, but
he is so unclutch.
He is and he isn't, bro.
He's
inefficient. That's why he's not clutch. If he was more efficient, he is clutch.
I want him. How long is a basketball game? 48 minutes, right?
48 minutes.
48 minutes. I want him being the go-to guy 46 minutes.
But he still needs to be on the court for the final two, because he'll get that three-point shot.
Because he'll draw the attention, but I don't want him shooting the three-pointer.
What do you want, George or Carmelo?
Yes.
I don't want George. I can say Carmelo.
Melo shooting the three-pointer. I would not be mad if George takes a three over Westbrook. Westbrook, not only is he like not good in those situations, he just makes bad decisions in those situations.
I think he has the
threes are-
Kobe mentality, bro.
There's a difference between having the mentality and the ability to execute.
Last season, he
He
executed a
definitely
lot.
has the mentality to say, "This is my team, my ball. I'm gonna take the game winning shot." But he's not the guy that's gonna make the game winning shot, and I think that's a big difference. And I think that's something you got to distinguish. Just because you have the balls to take the shot doesn't mean that you should be taking the shot.
Okay.
So, for that reason, I think
Well, can you put some respect on his name that he is a main reason why the Thunder beat the Raptors last night?
he might be the only reason. He might be the only reason the Oklahoma Thunder are as good as they are this year. Well, I mean, because they're only like slightly better than they were last year with only him. So it's obvious he's the main factor in their success.
Guys, stick with me. I think he is the Thunder's best attribute and also their worst, if that makes sense.
I agree.
He is the reason why they could be as dangerous as they are. And he's also the reason why they won't go deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's like I respect the numbers and what he's done, but since he can't play with superstars, and I think, honestly, he just needs to be surrounded with role players, good shooting role players
That's the
that
thing,
are going
though.
to clear the way for him to get to baskets. I think that's his game. The three-point shot, he can make it once in a while, but I don't think that's his game, which is why I said I don't want him taking the shot in the last 2 minutes of a game.
You remember when Dallas won the championship? Mm-hmm. Who was their superstar?
Dallas?
When they beat Miami.
Dirk?
Do you think they had any other superstar? Because Jason Kidd was at the end of his career. He was not a superstar. They didn't have another superstar. Am I incorrect? Guys, audience members, let us know if I am. Mm-hmm. I believe he can win a championship if he gets a team like that team. If you get solid, if not good role pieces that perfectly fit with his style.
Yeah. And
He can't play with another player that's near his level and needs the ball as much. Bro, Kevin Durant is an unselfish player, as he's proven with the Warriors.
Yeah.
And if Durant can't win with you, you just can't have another superstar. In my opinion.
I do think though that there was a lot of a power struggle in OKC when they were both together because they both wanted to be the main guys. For as unselfish as Kevin Durant has proven that he can be, when he was in OKC, I feel like there was still too much of a power struggle with whose team it was. They both wanted the ball at the end. They both wanted to take the last shot at the end.
But that's the problem. Every superstar is going to be like that. Unless you're a center, every superstar is going to be like that.
Which I think is a big, that should go into the conversation of how great of a superstar you really are. If you need to understand when...
But LeBron James is in clutch, and people say he's the greatest player of all time.
He's become a lot more clutch. Since Miami, and in the last 2 seasons... Bro,
the final 2 minutes, bro.
This season, have you seen this season? Have you seen many Cleveland games this year?
Okay, bro. I'm talking about shooting 3-pointers.
Yes, I'm talking about shooting anything. He's hit so many go-ahead buckets or game winners this year. I think he's hit more this year than he has in the past 4 years combined.
He's also haven't played with any other players the entire season. He didn't have Kyrie, and Love's been out half the season.
But it doesn't matter. If you're clutch, you're clutch.
But he's had more opportunities.
But that's the thing. When he had all those surrounding players, and that goes back to what I was talking about Westbrook. To be a true superstar, if you know that that's not your game, you got to put your ego aside and say, I'm not the most clutch player in these situations, and I got a team full of maybe not superstars, but role players who can hit this shot, and I will give them the ball. And Westbrook's, I feel like his mentality is, no, this is my team. I'm the best player. I'm taking the shot. And LeBron has less of a problem saying, I'll give it to Korver because he's been hot all game and he could take that shot and he can make it. I might not. And the difference is when he had to, like you said, that this most of the year he hasn't had any superstars to play with. So he has to be that guy. He has been that guy. So it's almost like
in his 15th season. That's not...
Right?
It took 15 years for him to be clutch. Let's move on because we don't have the exact stats, and I don't want to argue with...
There's a lot of positives that you can say about his 15th season. But let's move on.
Oh, before we move on, though, I just want to say Westbrook still put up 37 points, 13 rebounds, and 14 assists against the Raptors.
The Raptors. Where was that? That was a home game, right? The Raptors were playing at home.
I believe so.
The Raptors are playing ridiculously well. Not only overall, but at home, they are 29-6 Or is it 7 now? Is my thing still not updated? I'll confirm.
Bro, that's home. Look at the overall.
Let me just
52 and 18. They're 52 and 18.
52 and 18.
Yes.
No, but I mean, I want to know their home record.
Well, tell the audience members their overall record before you go into home.
Yeah, they're 52 and 18 overall. They're 29 and 6 at home,
which is still the best record for the league. Which is it shows you how bad teams are playing at home.
Yeah, I mean, the Rockets also have only 6 losses, but they've 27 wins, so they've played less games.
So they could technically lose more.
But,
bro, I was just real quick before we move on. Why don't you respect Westbrook, bro? He had his 5th straight triple-double.
I thought we win. Like I said, it's not that I don't respect it. I think he goes out of his way to make sure he has a triple-double, and after that, like, it's more of like it almost... I get the feeling that he cares more about his individual stats than the team success. Mind you,
coming from a LeBron fan.
Mind you, this is a team that I think he knows, and everybody knows that no matter how good or bad he plays, they're not gonna win the West. So I think with knowing that, he rather than accepting it and still trying to make the team better, he's kind of like, fuck it. If we're not gonna win and we're not gonna fall off of this like kind of middle pack where we're at, then I might as well just keep adding to my stats.
Question: is this Thunder team any more talented than the Cavs team from last season? I would say, if anything, they're less talented with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. Correct?
They're less talented. Yet
they might win the same amount of games. So how is he underachieving and LeBron James isn't?
I'm not saying he's underachieving. I think he's a stat stuffer. That's different.
I think LeBron James is a stat stuffer. Why is he playing as many minutes as he is?
Because he has nobody else to.
He still shouldn't be playing. Bro, for like most of the year, he was playing 38 minutes.
Okay, I'll tell you the difference. Oklahoma is not going to win the West. They're not even in the conversation for winning the West. The Cavs with LeBron always have a chance to win the West. Especially when you consider they're playing the Raptors, who go deer in headlights mode when they see LeBron show up.
But they have no shot this year.
I agree, but I want to see. Just because history has proven that the Raptors just like, I think LeBron is in their head. He lives there rent-free. So... because of that, I think it matters that LeBron has to play this many minutes because unlike OKC where they have no chance to win, Cleveland does. And for a team that actually does have a chance to win and has and seeding might matter regardless of what LeBron says, you have to try and win as much games as possible to get any advantage you can, especially if you're the underdog because now LeBron is going into the playoffs as an underdog.
Okay, so since we're talking about that.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this is the same Raptors team? Or do you not feel like their playing style is just so different from what we've seen before? And do you not sense they don't... I feel like they are no longer the hunted, and they're the hunters, bro.
I like what you said earlier. They smell blood in the water.
From the Cavs' perspective.
Yes. Everybody. Everybody. They
even
are the
Boston.
great white shark, and everybody is just a fucking...
Boston's bleeding right now.
Yeah. Oh, bro, Boston... I don't think is as good as they are. I will go back to this later, but as a Heat fan, I want Boston in the first round. I think the Heat can pull off the upset against the Celtics, but we'll come back to that.
I know. I think they're overachieving. They overachieved, and now their record is coming back down to what it should have been.
Yeah.
You remember when they won those 16 straight games? Yeah. And we were like, how is that possible?
And who ended the streak?
Miami?
Yeah.
Okay. No, but I'm saying no matter what, it's still impressive.
Oh, no, it's definitely impressive, but I think they're not as good as their record shows, and they're not as good as people think they are. But we'll come back to that. Toronto is definitely a different team this year. They smell blood in the water. They have no fear whatsoever. However,
DeRozan, even though I know points per game, this isn't his best year. Last year was. I think this is his best season of his career.
He's become so clutch and reliable. Before he always had he'll always put up good numbers, he'll have good games. He was a bit more inconsistent, but he was always good. This year, it's like he's good and he knows it. Like he finally realized it himself that how good he really is and how much he can carry a team. With that,
Did you see that one game where he dunked in? I believe it was overtime, and he won the game.
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say, I think why don't more players do that? Why don't more coaches put the ball in their best players' hands, their more respected player, and just in a game-defining situation, just tell them, go to the rim, because if you're the most respected
go
player
down
on the team,
or you're gonna get fouled.
You might get a foul.
Yeah.
Even if you don't get it in, if you're the best player, chances are you have a decent chance to make it. And if you're a respected player, you're gonna get the whistle 9 out of 10 times. And most coaches go for either the contested 2 or even dumber, the contested 3.
Well, some people need the 3.
I thought that unless you need it.
Yeah.
I think, man, I saw that and it was just that was beautiful all around. Great coaching, great decision. The Raptors have the best bench, if I'm not believing.
They still have a shot at the best record for the entire league, too, depending how Houston ends the season.
They have the best bench right now, the Raptors.
Stat-wise,
they look ridiculous. They look ridiculous. But with all that being said, they've been good. They've been getting better every year. But every time, and every time they see LeBron. So I have them as favorites in my column as well, but I just want to see. This year will be a really defining moment for the Raptors. If they choke again, something has to change.
I know you're not a historian with basketball. This reminds me where the Detroit Pistons, as the bad boy group, they had so many years they went against the Boston Celtics with Larry Bird, and they couldn't get over the hump. And then that one year, they finally went over the hump, and they pulled off 2 straight championships.
Just never looked back.
Yeah. This is that year for the Raptors, at least in terms of going against the Cavs.
And that's the thing. Last year, I said the same thing. I said, this Raptors team is different. And if this is not the year that they make some noise, you have to blow it up. And that was the year. Last year, Larry was a free agent, right? And a lot of people were saying, maybe let's not bring him back.
Good thing,
right? And then they did bring him back, and everybody thought that's a mistake.
Good thing they brought him back.
Right, because I think the bench is the difference this year. The starters are there. DeRozan obviously keeps improving, but for the most part, it's the same team. It's just the bench is just the way the coach and the coaching staff has been developing the young players is nothing short of amazing.
Their bench is as good as their starters in terms of what they do against other teams' benches.
It's crazy. A lot of the times, it's great that when your starters come out, you have confidence that your backups are gonna maintain a lead,
if not extend it,
or bring you back from a deficit, or extend it. It's great. A lot of the times, the Raptors in close games keep their bench to close games.
Yeah, bro, and their bench is the main reason why their point differential is as large as it is.
Yep.
It's like around 9 right now, so so where do you think the playoffs is going to end up?
I think depending on certain matchups, I think there's a lot of let's talk about the West first.
Okay.
I think the Warriors are still the favorites. Despite what the records show. And despite how good the Rockets are playing, and it's only because James Harden is
needs to prove himself.
A better Kyle Lowry in the sense of you're a great regular season player and you can't do shit in the playoffs.
Yeah,
ever.
My thing is though, hear me out. Even though I think Kevin Durant is the MVP for the Warriors, I think the Warriors are just not the same team without Curry.
I don't think but he's going to be back for the playoffs. So,
but bro, how is his ankle going to be? Because this is the second time he's rode it in the past month.
But I think as long as he's in the game,
past 2 months,
he'll be enough of a difference maker that
he wasn't for that Cavs series when they lost 4-3. When he messed up his knee, he was not the same player, and that was huge.
I think that the Warriors are still going to win the West.
Okay. For me, it depends on injury.
I want to say, because, like I said, because James Harden has to prove himself still, and I like that Chris Paul is on the Rockets because despite Chris Paul's record in the playoffs.
Best duo this year.
But if you look at Chris Paul's numbers in the playoffs, they're always good. It's not that he doesn't show up. It's regardless of the great team he had, they couldn't get him over the hump. You can't win it alone. So I want to see if
he's not clutch when they need to be.
So that's why I want to see what they're going to do with this Rockets team. Between him being able to perform in the playoffs and James Harden not being able to perform in the playoffs.
But James Harden puts up the stats. He just turns the ball over or makes a bad decision when it counts.
So he chokes.
Same thing for Chris Paul.
We will see.
Okay.
For those reasons, I think that they will not win the West.
Give me your 8 seeds for the West that are going to make it.
I think it'll stay pretty much how it is right now. No.
Let the audience members know.
I think the Wolves. Hold on, I have 5th, and then I skipped through 8th here. So let me just pull it up real quick. I think Rockets, Warriors, those will stay the same. I think Trailblazers will stay 3rd, as they are now. Oklahoma, yeah.
You think they're going to finish higher than the Jazz, bro?
Yeah.
I think I would have Jazz 4th.
Okay. I'll leave those two to be interchangeable.
Okay.
Right? Pelicans are 6th with 40 and 30. Mind you, the Jazz are 40 and 30. The Pelicans are 40 and 30 at 6th. The Spurs are 40 and 30 at 7th. And the Timberwolves are 40 and 31 at 8th. I think the Spurs will fall out of a playoff spot because we were talking about earlier about
over the Wolves?
Yeah, just because of the schedule. Only because of the schedule and because they don't have Kawhi.
Who replaces them? Nuggets?
I don't know that the Nuggets are that much better than the Timberwolves. I mean, record-wise, right now, they're not.
But so you think the Clippers are going to make it in?
I
can't bet on that.
I think the Nuggets. I think the Spurs fall out of a playoff spot, and the Nuggets take the final playoff spot.
And the Wolves move up to 7th.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I think that might be a reasonable.
Just to put it out there, for a long time, I hope the Lakers could get into that 8th spot, but with these back-to-back losses, they have no shot.
No, I think. Yeah,
I just want them to finish with 41 wins, bro. That'd be a successful season.
41. They're what, 31?
Yeah,
There's only like 12 games left.
they could do it, bro.
A true Lakers fan.
Bro, the first half of this season was bad.
Very
and
bad.
look where they are now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you could have said the same thing about the Heat last year where they started 11 and 30 and finished 30 and 11.
Yeah.
So, but mind you, they were in the
And
East.
look how good they're... Yeah, but look how good they're playing this year. That's momentum.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's end this with the East predictions.
Okay. Cleveland comes out of the West. Very contested.
You mean East?
Yeah, East. I think they very narrowly, if they do, in fact, come out of the East, it will be by a very slight margin. If not, then the Raptors are the my second obvious choice. So Eastern contenders outside of
Raptors.
Nah, you know what? That's just what I have written here. Eastern Conference, just the conference contenders. Anybody 1 through 8 has the same, in my book, chance to go to the conference finals.
What's the 1 through 8th seed?
Toronto, Boston, Cleveland, Washington, Indiana, 76ers, the Bucks, and the Heat. Because 9th place is out of reach. 9th place will not get into the...
And that's... Who is 9th place?
Detroit.
Didn't you post you think they're going to make it?
If you look back, I also corrected that.
Yeah.
A few games later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see it happening, bro. And Blake Griffin has been worse since leaving the Clippers.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that?
Yeah. I mean, the first few games, he looked like, oh, man, doesn't matter what team he's on. I mean, it might also be the team, right? You need players to make you better.
But is Detroit that much worse than the Clippers?
They shouldn't be. They're in the East.
Maybe he's just one of those players he can't be the star.
Maybe Doc Rivers isn't as bad as I thought he was.
No, he's always been a great coach.
I think he might have been the problem those years.
And not injury?
That too, but I mean just in general, I feel like they underachieved every year.
Not in the regular season.
No, in the regular season they always killed it, and you're right. I didn't even consider the fact that they were injured most of the years in the playoffs. But still, even if you had one of your main 3 or 4 guys injured, you had such a good team. You had a great starting lineup and a great bench.
Not
and
every
you
year.
couldn't, but that's at least a conference finals team. When the only competition is the Warriors, you should have been in the conference finals every single year, if not most years.
Not the Spurs? The one year they beat the Spurs, but then they lost to Houston.
That's what I'm saying. Is that when they blew a 3-1 lead?
Yeah.
Yeah. You beat the Spurs in 7 games on a game winner, essentially. That's what that was. That was game 7. Chris Paul came in clutch, which you said he wasn't, but we'll just forget that part. And
was he clutch the next series?
Nobody was clutch that next series, bro. That shit was just...
Okay.
That was painful.
Who has he ever gone to the conference finals?
No. That's why I don't have them as my favorites. That's why I don't have the Rockets as beating the Warriors.
Bro, you just can't put it all on Doc Rivers. Like you said, it's both.
No,
the
it's
coach
not on all
and
Doc
players.
Rivers. Like I had, I used to think maybe it was Chris Paul. I thought maybe it was their bench. I thought maybe it was
Blake everybody.
Griffin. I thought for a long time it was DeAndre Jordan. I don't know. I you have to shift blame when the team is struggling like that. You have to you're gonna go through every option. Is it him? Is it him? Is it him? And the last thing I wanted to say was that the last person I wanted to put blame on was Doc Rivers, but. Got to the point where, maybe he was the problem.
But think of it like this. They don't have Blake Griffin and Chris Paul, and they're still on pace for 45-plus wins.
Bro, Brad Stevens only has Kyrie Irving.
But, bro,
last year, he only had Isaiah Thomas.
I know. But they also play in the East.
But you still it's not easy to win an NBA game, and he won a lot of them.
52.
With that lack of talent last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you look at, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. You had the Warriors, and let's say the Spurs were good that year too. But you're Doc Rivers. You're the super coach, and you have a super team.
But let's not forget, too, he only won 1 championship with the Big 3. Injuries follow him around.
Well,
injuries derailed the Celtics, bro.
Anyways, back to the East.
Okay.
Conference contenders, anybody. Absolutely anybody. I think the 76ers have as much chance as the Raptors to win the conference. And I'll tell you why. Hold on.
No, I'm thinking.
Depending on matchups. If the right teams face each other and take out their own competition, the East is wide open. So let's say the Raptors face fucking the 76ers for whatever reason. I think the 76ers shouldn't be that much of an underdog. The 76ers are a solid team, and as good as the Raptors are, the Raptors always struggle in the playoffs. So if you have the Raptors as the favorites to win in the East, and you consider how bad they've been in the playoffs, with the exception of how good they've been this year, you have to consider the possibility that they could lose in the first or second round every year.
I don't think Washington has a shot. I don't think...
If the Raptors and the Cavs aren't in the picture anymore.
So you think neither of those two teams are going to the championship?
I think... No. I absolutely think those two are the favorites. But I said, when I started this, I said, if you take... Cleveland and the Raptors out of the equation, anybody in the East has a chance. It's the same. It's almost essentially the same in the West. If you take out the Rockets and the Warriors, it's an open conference, and anybody, 3 to 8, could realistically be in the conference finals. And so I would love for either. If I'll tell you what, if either Cleveland, you don't even have to. I said earlier, if both teams would somehow manage to fall out in the first 2 rounds, but if either Toronto or Cleveland fall in the first 2 rounds, anybody's game.
My thing is, though, do you think Boston can beat Toronto or Cleveland?
No. If you remember what I said earlier, I think the Heat, who are currently 8th seed,
could beat Boston.
Can beat Boston.
But do you think the Heat could beat Raptors or...
No. But I think
the Raptors are above everybody, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, listen, if you take out Cleveland out of the equation, and by me saying that, I basically am just saying if you take out LeBron James out of the equation, I think anybody has a decent chance at the Raptors.
I don't think the Sixers can hold up for 7 games. Take that for what it is.
I agree. But I think they're not like they're while I think the Raptors are the clear favorites, I don't think they're the 100% like like Warriors last year, you would look at them and you would think, well, there's no way anybody's beating them.
And they went 12-0 the first 3 rounds.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like that for this Raptors team. They're clearly the best team in the conference, but they're not 100% guaranteed to win the conference.
But nobody ever truly is, bro, unless you're the Warriors.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what people.
If you had to put your money on it,
and it's even worse if the Raptors continue their pattern of being sucky in the playoffs and fall out of a playoff spot. I mean, they fall out of the playoffs before the conference finals.
Bro, the only way that happens is if Cleveland falls the 4th and Toronto has to face Cleveland in the 2nd round.
If Cleveland, for any reason, if Toronto, for any reason, falls out of doesn't make the conference finals,
it'll be because
I think anybody except Washington.
Yeah, I have no faith in them.
Or the Celtics. I have very little faith in the Celtics. Anyone besides the Celtics or the Wizards can beat the Cavs in a 7-game series this year. No disrespect to LeBron.
I don't know, bro. I think the Raptors.
That's my wild prediction for this year.
I think the Raptors are the only team that could beat them.
The Cavs?
Yeah.
I think the Raptors have the best chance, but honestly, unless LeBron goes super beast mode like he always does, if they continue this level of play, bro,
I'm going to tell you how it's going to happen.
The Pacers have a shot at least wearing them down to the point where someone like the 76ers...
Oh, you're talking about right now, right?
Yeah, like if they keep playing like this, they could play the Pacers in the first round and the Pacers wear them down to the point where
that would only happen if
the
Washington...
Heat or the 76ers can come in and just finish the job.
We're going to have to do a show when the seeds are final, because that's going to determine everything.
Yes.
For both conferences, in my opinion.
Yes.
Okay, bro. Any final arguments? Anything you want to point out?
I don't think James Harden is the MVP.
Who do you think is? Wait, you're not going to say James.
I want to, but I don't want to.
I would put Anthony Davis over him before.
I was thinking that too.
Because, bro, they've been on a roll ever since Cousins has been injured.
Bro, I'll tell you why Anthony Davis over James Harden. Even forget the record. It's only because I think, in my opinion, to be the most valuable player on a team, you have to play both sides of the game. You have to play both sides. You can't just be a scorer and
he's improved, though.
Yeah, but...
My argument against James Harden, when James Harden was out and Chris Paul was in, for the most part, they still played at the same level.
So that's the argument against Harden?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think if anybody from that team is the MVP, in my opinion, it's Chris Paul. But he's been the biggest difference.
Yeah, for the team. So,
yeah.
But I think in the league, I think neither of them. I think Anthony Davis would be and if not Anthony Davis, then I think LeBron James.
No, but that's my argument. If you're not the MVP of your own team, how
can you be the MVP of the league? Yeah, no, I don't like how Harden, even if he has improved, I don't know. I hate how he doesn't try on defense, and you can't it's one thing,
bro.
It's one thing to say you try and you just suck at it, but to see when he just lets players go by and give him that ass tap and just like yeah, go ahead, buddy, you beat me, go ahead. Layups right there. Fuck you. That's not... No. I don't respect that. That's my beef with Harden. He's not the MVP. I don't care what
my beef with him is just his turnovers, bro.
He's not the MVP.
I'm not sure if he's averaging 4 turnovers this season, but the previous 3, he's averaged over 4 turnovers, which is an NBA record by far.
I don't know who the MVP is, but in my book, he's not. And even though, you know what? He's going to win it.
How about this argument, bro? Damian Lillard, the Trailblazers. How good would they be without him? This past 2 months.
He is definitely the MVP of his team.
And what is MVP?
Argue, yeah. He would definitely... I think he should be top 5 in the argument
if he's not, that's
for
just
NBA.
Disrespectful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you finally got an all-star berth, and that was...
But think about it, though. It's him and CJ McCollum.
Yeah.
And who else?
Yeah.
And what's their record right now?
44-26.
And they're on a 12-game win streak?
13.
13. Bro. Yo,
Put some respect on that man's name.
26. Yo, what if they finish with 54 wins, bro? So they only lose 2 games over the final stretch.
I'd be very impressed
54-28, bro, with that team, with how they started.
so they only lose 2 the rest of the schedule?
Yeah. What if? I know that's a big if. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
How could you not put him as MVP, bro?
Yeah, at that point, but I just want to verify real quick what their schedule is looking like.
Okay.
Next. Okay, they got the Rockets, the Celtics at home. Then they play on the road at Oklahoma, the Pelicans.
Memphis is garbage.
Memphis is garbage. The Clippers, they could get hot and cold. Then they got the Mavericks on the road, the Rockets on the road, the Spurs on the road, the Nuggets on the road, and the Jazz on the road.
Yeah.
They're not losing 2 more games. They're losing way more than 2 games.
But
It's still an impressive finish.
Would you have predicted 13 straight wins? And some of these wins have been against those teams.
Yeah, no, I would not have predicted that.
So I'm saying how everything finishes MVP is.
It's not out of the. He should not be not considered. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so you're double negative. He should be considered.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a slap in the face to not put him top 5.
Okay. Who's your top 5 right now? So, since we're on this, and then we'll end the show.
I don't know. Anthony Davis, LeBron James. I don't think anybody on the Warriors. They're too good.
Harden. You have to put him in the top 5.
I'll put him 4th.
Lillard, as we said.
I'll put Lillard 3rd.
What about Westbrook? I know you said he's a stat stuffer, but James Harden is too.
Yeah. So I'll put him in the. I'll put Westbrook over Harden.
Okay.
Yeah.
He has 23 triples, bro.
Just because he puts up more. He puts up.
His stats.
They're not that far out from Harden, and if you look at it, his stats are offensively and defensively, right? It's points and rebounds and assists, and
steals.
Yeah. Whereas James Harden, it's all like offensive minded stats. So for that reason, I'll put him ahead of him.
Thank you guys. I think that's it.
Yeah.
We need to do this more often, but
Absolutely.
thank you for joining us for the 3rd Rhinos and Aliens After Dark.
This is my 4th time here.
Yeah, I lost track because
It's been that many.
the gaps are just so large and wide, bro.
Yeah.
But
Large and wide is good. What?
that's what she said, bro. That's
What?
definitely what she said.
This is the wrong episode.
But if, as we always like to say, if you like the video, give us that thumbs up. If you have anything to say or you want to converse with us,
Keep it to yourself.
leave comments right below.
Sorry. Don't keep it to yourself.
Yeah, talk to us. How do you feel about some of the stats we brought up? How do you feel about UConn? Are they just... Why should UConn even play anymore, right? Like, they're just so... When you're so much better than everybody else, what's the point?
Yeah.
I'm surprised he stays motivated as a coach.
CC the Warriors.
Yeah, true. But and let us know about how you guys feel about Donovan Mitchell, Rookie of the Year debates. How you feel about Westbrook, LeBron James, Harden, MVP debate. What are your top 8 seeds for both
I was
conferences?
just about to say that. Yeah. If we messed up on any stats, feel free to not correct us. Fuck you, as always.
You're going to keep that trend going.
Get a life.
Yeah. Leave that in the comment. Just put like what we got incorrect and just put the correct information. We try to do that as well.
Yeah.
I can see you.
Oh.
But your co-host today was Francis Mandrala and Sebastian. So we hope to see you soon and
Yeah.
give us some feedback. And of course, you could find us on social media.
Stay tuned for that other project.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah.
Peace out, everybody. If you want to subscribe, just hit this bad boy up here, that big fat rhino. If you want the newest video, to the right. If you want the recommended, to the left. And then, of course, our personal dick pic. Yep, right below. So thank you for joining us once again, and we hope to see you next week. So peace out.
Peace.